The plains of late Cretaceous Patagonia tremble, not from the weight of giants, but from the relentless rhythm of a sprinter. A blur of mottled red and brown, it rockets across the landscape, a biological missile aimed at the heart of a fleeing herbivore. This is no ordinary hunter. It is a demon forged in nature's most feverish dream, a predator that defies convention. Its skull, short and deep, is crowned with two sharp, bull-like horns. Its arms are so comically small, they are practically vestigial. But its legs are masterpieces of macabre engineering, built for one purpose: lethal speed. This is Carnotaurus, the flesh-eating bull. But how did this strange assassin, this crimson demon of the south, rise to power? What was its life in a world dominated by titans? To understand the warrior, we must witness its entire war. If you find value in these chronicles of deep time, a subscription to the channel ensures you never miss a journey. Now, let's journey back in time and uncover the story of a lost world. Our story begins not with a roar, but with a faint crack. The sun of the late Cretaceous, around 70 million years ago, beats down on the semi-arid plains of Patagonia. This is a land of extremes. Long, dry seasons give way to violent, flooding rains. Here, nestled in a shallow mound of earth and decaying vegetation, a clutch of leathery eggs incubates in the geothermal warmth. From within one, a tiny life pushes against its confines. A small snout, no larger than a human thumb, breaks through the shell. Our Carnotaurus has arrived. It is no demon, not yet. It is a fragile thing of bone and fluff, a creature of oversized eyes and gangly, awkward legs that already hint at the power they will one day contain. It takes its first breath of the warm, humid air, thick with the smell of ferns and distant volcanic dust. For this hatchling, the world is a dizzying, terrifying collage of new sensations. Its siblings begin to emerge, a chorus of soft chirps filling the air. But the sounds of new life are a dinner bell in this brutal world. A shadow falls over the nest. It belongs to a Noasaurus, a swift, wiry predator with a specialized sickle claw, perfectly designed for snatching such vulnerable prey. It darts forward, its eyes fixed on the struggling hatchlings. Before it can strike, a deeper shadow eclipses its own. The mother Carnotaurus, a 10-meter-long titan of muscle and armored scutes, lowers her massive horned head. She doesn't roar. She issues a low, guttural hiss that vibrates through the ground, a sound far more menacing than any shriek. She tilts her head, presenting the two sharp horns that are her namesake. The message is clear. The smaller predator, thoroughly outmatched, vanishes back into the scrubland. Safe for now, the hatchling feels another vibration, a deep, rhythmic thudding that shakes its very bones. On the horizon, a herd of Saltosaurus, the armored titanosaurs of the south, moves like a range of living hills. Their immense scale serves as a constant reminder of the hatchling's place in this world. It is a tiny, insignificant creature in an ecosystem of true giants. Under its mother's watchful gaze, it stumbles out of the nest on its shaky legs. Every instinct screams one simple, powerful command that will govern the rest of its life: survive. A year passes. The seasons turn, bringing flooding rains that swell the rivers and long, parched months that bake the earth. The fragile hatchling is gone, replaced by a lanky, 2-meter-long juvenile. He is a creature of disproportion, all legs and tail, his mother's horned visage mirrored in a smaller, sleeker form. She has taught him the scent of prey and the shadow of danger, but the lessons of the kill must be learned alone. His target is a small, bipedal herbivore, a Gasparinisaura, darting between the giant ferns at the edge of a clearing. Instinct takes over. He bursts from his hiding place, a miniature storm of predatory energy. But his eagerness betrays him. He is fast, astonishingly so, but his coordination is unrefined. His quarry jinks left, then right, and vanishes into the dense undergrowth. The young Carnotaurus skids to a halt, tasting nothing but dust and failure. This is his first crucial lesson. Speed is not enough. Precision is everything. He spends weeks honing his craft, starting with slower prey fat, basking lizards and unwary, primitive mammals scurrying in the twilight. Here, he discovers the unique nature of his weaponry. His skull, while deep, lacks the bone-crushing power of a tyrannosaur. His bite is not a death grip, but a rapid, slashing attack. He doesn't hold and wrestle. He closes the distance with his explosive speed and delivers a series of quick, shallow wounds, letting shock and blood loss do the work. His forward-facing eyes grant him superb binocular vision, allowing him to judge distance with lethal accuracy, a vital trait for a high-speed ambush predator. The secret to his velocity lies in his tail, a massive caudofemoralis muscle, the largest of any known theropod relative to its size, anchors to his femurs. It is the engine of a biological race car, pulling his legs backward in a powerful, high-frequency stride. His stiffened torso and counterbalancing tail allow him to make sharp turns, turning the open plains into his personal amphitheater of death. One day, flushed with the success of a fresh kill, youthful arrogance leads him to the riverbeds, where the true rulers of this land congregate. A colossal Saltosaurus, its back peppered with bony armor, lowers its head to drink, oblivious to the world at its feet. The young hunter, emboldened, creeps closer, driven by a foolish curiosity. The titan shifts its weight, a single leg, a pillar of flesh and bone as wide as a tree trunk, lifts and falls. It crashes down inches from his head, the impact sending a shockwave through the ground that throws him from his feet. The air is punched from his lungs. Terror, pure and absolute, floods his senses. He has just learned his second great lesson. In this world, there are forces against which speed and ferocity mean nothing. Scrambling back into the safety of the ferns, he understands his place. The plains may belong to the giants, but the spaces in between the pathways of ambush and the moments of opportunity, those will belong to him. 10 years of blood and survival have forged a new creature. The gangly juvenile is a distant memory, replaced by a predator perfected. He is now nearly 8 meters from snout to tail, a formidable mass of muscle and bone weighing well over a ton. His hide, a tapestry of mottled reds and browns, is crisscrossed with old scars and studded with rows of bony osteoderms, a form of natural chainmail. His horns, once small nubs, are now thick and menacing, their tips worn smooth by countless skirmishes. He is a solitary king in his prime, his territory carved out through sheer intimidation and unmatched speed. His reign is not uncontested. As he patrols the dry riverbed that marks his border, he catches a scent, another male Carnotaurus, young and ambitious, trespassing on his hunting grounds. A confrontation is inevitable. They approach one another, not with roars, but with low, guttural rumbles that seem to make the air vibrate. They display their profiles, flexing the immense muscles of their necks and legs. These horns, too fragile for battling a titanosaur, yet too prominent to be merely for show, were built for this moment. What was their true purpose? The brutal dance of survival provides the answer. They charge, not to gore, but to collide head-on with a sickening crack. It's a contest of brute force, a shoving match to establish dominance. Our veteran, heavier and more experienced, drives the younger male back. The trespasser, acknowledging superior power, breaks away and retreats into the plains. The territory is secure for now. But victory does not fill his belly. Hunger, a constant, gnawing companion, drives him onward. From a high ridge, he surveys the landscape with his keen, forward-facing eyes. He spots his opportunity. A subadult iguanodontian, separated from its herd, grazing near a grove of cycads. Now, the true hunt begins. This is not a mindless chase, but a calculated ambush. He is a sprinter, not a marathon runner, and every calorie of energy must be spent with lethal efficiency. Using a shallow ravine as cover, he moves with a silence that belies his size, his powerful legs carrying him closer and closer. He is within 100 meters, then 50. The herbivore lifts its head, sensing a shift in the air, but it's too late. He explodes from the ravine. This is not the clumsy dash of the juvenile, but the earth-shattering sprint of an apex predator. In seconds, he is covering the ground at over 50 kilometers per hour, a blur of focused violence. The iguanodontian bolts, but its steady gait is no match for his explosive acceleration. As he closes the gap, he employs a strategy unique to his kind. He doesn't just bite. He swings his powerful neck and uses his horned skull as a battering ram, delivering a stunning, debilitating blow to the creature's flank. The herbivore stumbles, its rhythm broken. That single moment is all he needs. He is on it, his jaws opening and closing with incredible speed, delivering a flurry of deep, slashing bites to its legs and abdomen. The hunt is over as quickly as it began. Standing over his kill, chest heaving, he lets out a bellowing roar that echoes across the plains, a declaration of his power. The undisputed master of the chase, the crimson demon of Patagonia, at the absolute zenith of his reign. Your like is a huge source of motivation for us to continue making these documentaries about the lost world. Another 5 years grind by. The seasons have etched themselves onto the Carnotaurus's body. He is a grizzled monarch, a walking testament to a life of brutal perseverance. The explosive speed that defined him is still there, but it is now a memory in his muscles, harder to summon, and the cost of using it is paid in days of aching joints. A limp from a poorly healed fracture in his hip is his constant companion, and the world is viewed through eyes that are slightly dimmer. He is still the king, but his is now an uneasy crown. The challenge, when it comes, is familiar. It is the same rival he drove away years ago, but the youth and ambition have been replaced by the quiet confidence of a predator in its absolute prime. The challenger is now larger, his muscles coiled with power, his horns sharp and unblemished. He makes no display, no ritualized threat. He has come not to test the king, but to depose him. The battle is short and savage. Our old warrior fights with the cunning and fury of a cornered legend. He uses his experience, sidestepping a clumsy charge and landing a slashing bite on the challenger's flank. But the younger male's strength is overwhelming. He recovers instantly and drives his head into the older Carnotaurus's side. The impact is a sickening crunch of breaking bone. Agony, white-hot and blinding, rips through our hero's chest. With a final, desperate surge of adrenaline, he swings his massive head and smashes it into his rival's jaw. Stunned and wounded himself, the challenger stumbles back, and after a moment of tense silence, he retreats. The old king has won. He has defended his territory one last time. But as he stands alone, the roar of victory dies in his throat, replaced by a ragged wheeze. Every breath is a fresh torment, a sharp, stabbing pain deep within his chest. A shattered rib has pierced a lung. He can feel the warmth of his own blood pooling inside him. He is a king with no kingdom left to rule but the small patch of ground on which he will die. Instinct, the only guide he has ever known, drives him away from the battlefield. He stumbles toward a quiet, secluded thicket near the muddy bank of a seasonal river. The vibrant sounds of his world, the chirping of insects, the distant call of a pterosaur, begin to fade into a dull hum. His powerful legs, which once carried him across these plains like the wind, can no longer support his weight. He collapses onto the damp earth. His great head rests on the ground, his scarred hide rising and falling in ever shallower breaths. He watches as the great, indifferent Patagonian sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the land he once ruled. A cool breeze whispers through the ferns, a final, gentle touch. Then the sky opens and a soft rain begins to fall. It washes the blood and dust from his scales, mingling with the mud, beginning the slow, patient process of burial. The thunderous heart of the flesh-eating bull grows quiet. The reign of the crimson demon is over. Death was not an end, but a transformation. The soft rains that fell on the Carnotaurus's still body gave way to a seasonal flood. The river, swollen and brown, spilled its banks, carrying with it a heavy blanket of silt and sand that gently covered the fallen king. Layer by layer, year by year, the sediment entombed him. The pressure of a world above mounted, and over the unimaginable gulf of 70 million years, minerals seeped into his bones, swapping organic for inorganic, turning flesh and blood into eternal stone. His story lay dormant, locked away in a coffin of rock, waiting, until one day in 1984, under the same Patagonian sun, a team of paleontologists led by the legendary José Bonaparte unearthed a miracle. It was not just a collection of scattered bones. It was a nearly complete skeleton, lying on its right side, articulated as if it had simply fallen asleep. And then they saw ghostly, intricate patterns in the surrounding rock, the impressions of his skin. This single fossil was a Rosetta Stone for understanding this strange lineage of southern predators. The skin impressions revealed a creature unlike any imagined, its hide covered not in scales, but in a mosaic of non-overlapping bumps and feature rows of prominent osteoderms. The skeleton confirmed the immense power of its tail muscles, cementing its reputation as one of the fastest large theropods to have ever lived. The strangely short, deep skull and feeble arms told a story not of brute force, but of a specialized high-speed hunter that struck with the precision of a charging bull. The bones, now resting in a museum, are the final, silent testament to the life we have just witnessed, a life of struggle, survival, and dominion. They are the last chapter in the story of a single individual who fought for territory, who learned the hard lessons of the hunt, and who ultimately fell to the inexorable cycle of life. He was not a tyrant built for crushing bone, but a crimson demon built for the chase, a unique and terrifyingly efficient assassin from an age when giants truly ruled the earth. If you believe every fossil holds a great story waiting to be told, Subscribe to the Dinosaur Story channel to help us bring those legends to light.